channel. My name's Angela and this is Devon Thread Tales. Thank you so much for joining me today. Today I'm going to be sharing with you everything that I've made in September. So I hope you like what I've made. I am going to start with a few things that I've made, one non-garment related item and also a few things for my children. So while I'm doing that, I have actually got on a make that I made a very long time ago, probably last winter, but I got up today and it was so cold that I just needed to put on something snuggly, and I thought, while I'm talking to you, I'm just going to put this on. This is my Nina Lee South Bank sweater that I made from some quilted fabric from Satisfaction, and look, it's really quilted. It's so lovely and soft and snuggly. I absolutely love it. It's just such a easy, lovely dress to wear, and I really need to make some more. Actually, I've only got this one, and when I'm cold, this is a fab dress to put on. But I put it on and then I've whizzed around the house, I've cleaned the bathroom and made some beds and things, and I've suddenly gone, oh my word, I'm actually now a little bit too hot. So I've cooled down, so it's fine, but I think I need to make myself a couple of these dresses in slightly thinner fabric, and I want something that's a bit brighter, maybe with some pattern on it and things like that. So anyway, right, I shall crack on with what I've made. So first of all, at the very beginning of the month, and I won't show you these, but I made what felt like a gazillion face masks or face coverings. Honestly, I made lots of different styles because my children and my husband and I, we all like different types. So I've made loads and loads of those. And then I made something, I don't know why I wanted to do this, I just wanted to make myself a cover for my drinks bottle. It's a really weird thing to say. I try and drink water during the day and be really good and healthy, and I have these really pretty bottles. I don't know if you can see that up close, but it's all lovely and pink and turquoise and flowery, and they're really pretty. And I've got this one, which is a nice blue one. I think it's got a little turtle on it somewhere. Where is it? There you go. And I sling them in my handbag and they get really scratched up. And I don't know why, but then I'm like, oh, I don't really want to use that now, which I know is really silly. So I decided to have a little Google and see if I could find a way of making a cover for it. And I found this fabulous tutorial from a lady that has a YouTube channel called Birdcage and Thread, and she first of all does a tutorial on how to measure for your bottle and the correct measurements, etc. And I think she's got a downloadable PDF so you can print it off and write out all of the different things, and then she goes through a tutorial of how to make this. Now I know it sounds silly but it means that those horrible scratched up bottles that I've got, I can now put a cover on them and that I don't see all that horrible scratched up stuff, and it's protecting my nice new ones. So they were really easy to do, and there's lots of different variations that you can do on them. I've just put a little tag on these, which I could put like a hook on them to hang off a bag or something like that. I've done it with an elasticated drawstring and a little toggle that pulls together. I used a batting, which I'd not used before, which just gives it a bit of slightly, it's, you know, just slightly padded. And I've this pink and grey one, I've just lined it on the inside with pink, so there's a little bit of pink showing. And then on this one, I'll show you this one, I've just got another contrasting fabric on the inside. I just think they're really cute and really pretty, and I quite like them. So I used a batting, and I got this from a company called Plush Addict, and it's just something like 5 mils in thickness, and you iron this on just like interfacing. You iron it onto one of your pieces of fabric and it just sits really nicely, and you sew it together as normal. It's just a bit thicker. Didn't really need to change my needles or anything in particular. It all behaved really nicely, so that was great. And then for the rest of the hardware for those, I actually just went on to, I can't remember if I went on to eBay or Amazon. I think it was Amazon. And I just bought a bag of these toggles, and they come in all sorts of different colours. I don't think I'm going to be making that many bottle covers, but I think I'll use them for other things. But they're just these little sort of things that you put your cord through, and it just keeps it all together. I don't think that's coming up in focus very well, but you get the idea. And then I ordered this little bag of elastics, and again that came in loads of different colours. I think it said it was something like 50 colours or something like that. They are in a bit of a mishmash, and I should really actually sort them out, which I haven't done. But anyway, never mind. So I thought that was quite good, because again I can put that through other different garments and things like that I make. So that was the first thing that I made in September. So I made my mum a pair of trousers. She said to me that she would really like to have a go at making her own clothes, and in particular she wanted to make a pair of trousers similar to some that she already had, some ready to wear ones. And I took a pair of hers that she had and drafted out a pattern based on it. I sort of used it as a template and added seam allowances and things like that, and created this pattern for her. And I then went and bought some fabric from Haberdashery Fabrics and More in Plymouth, which and this is a viscose jersey, which is what I believe her trousers were made in. It's really quite a nice jungly print, just mostly very colourful, but it has a few sort of white, almost silhouette-y kind of leaves in the background as well. But I quite like it. I bought too much, so I've got loads left over. And I just made this pair of trousers for her. It was her birthday, so I made the trousers and gave her the trousers and sort of boxed up the pattern for her. And she's really pleased with them. They had pockets on them, which she said she doesn't really mind if she has pockets or not, but they were actually patch pockets, so that made it really easy that I could add them on, but for her, if she wanted to leave them off, it wouldn't make any difference. And they also had a pair of ties, and she said, I really don't want the ties on them, so I left those out completely, but they'd be really easy to add in. And I just sort of used the trousers that she had to kind of measure and check how wide the elastic was for the waist, etc. And I was like that when I gave them to her, thinking, oh, I really hope they fit, but they did, and she was really pleased, and I think she looks lovely in them. So I'm really looking forward to seeing her make her own pair, and if she does, I might even share it with you. So that was the first piece of clothing that I made in September. The next piece of clothing that I made was for my youngest daughter, Ellen, and she really wanted, well, she began by saying that she wanted a skater dress, and she saw this fabric in Haberdashery Fabrics and More again, and it's this lovely cotton jersey, and it's just a creamy or off-white with a sort of a sketchy black line going through it, and it's really, really nice. So at first she said, really fancy a skater dress, and then I was looking at different patterns, and she said, actually I quite like the Agnes dress that you've got. So Tilly and the Buttons has a, if you haven't heard of it, which I'm surprised if you haven't, but she has a top pattern, t-shirt pattern, which is called the Agnes top. And she's also got a Freya dress pattern, which is in her stretch book. And this pattern is an amalgamation of the top with the Freya skirt. And she is really, really delighted with it. And she put it on the other day and she looked absolutely gorgeous. I will put clips in of her wearing it because obviously she's at school at the moment. So it's a really simple t-shirt dress. It's just got a simple neckband. I've done long sleeves, and it sort of slightly nips in at the waist and then flares out, and I think this comes down to just above her knee, and it looks really, really lovely. Yeah, there's not an awful lot more I can say about this. The only thing I will say is I actually have bought myself a cover stitch machine. Now, I haven't used it very much because, well, quite frankly, I'm pretty terrified of it. And I've had a bit of a go, and I used it when I did the hems and things on her Agnes. Now, I don't know if you're going to be able to see this, and if you can't when I bring it up, then what I might do is I might actually just take some pictures and pop them up on the screen. But I'm really pleased. I've always had trouble with twin needling and finishing off the hems on garments, and this I think is going to solve all my problems. To begin with, I was really unsure of how to use it and what to do, but I actually downloaded a tutorial from the Stitch Sisters and it's been fantastic. I haven't watched all of it because I think I need to be using my machine at the same time as watching it to really get the full benefit of it, but it's just fantastic, and it covers all problem areas, it covers all the different stitches that a cover stitch machine would do, and what you'd use it for, etc, etc. So I can't recommend their tutorials enough. I haven't ever had a tutorial from them before, but yeah, absolutely fantastic. So that is my second make of the month. I'll show you the next one. So the next thing that I made was another garment for my other daughter, this time for Amy, and I made her the Tilly and the Buttons Cleo pinafore dress. And I'm so chuffed with this. I absolutely love it. I know it's quite a simple sew. I made this a long time ago for one of my other daughters and I really enjoyed the construction of it. The instructions were fantastic. It just went together really, really well, and yeah, it was just so great. And it was the same again this time, obviously, because it's the same pattern. So I made this from a corduroy. I'll put pictures of it in up close. I don't know if you can see that. I'd like to try and show the true colour of this because it is such a pretty, it's not like a dull navy blue, if that makes any sense. It's really, really nice. And I lined it with this very sort of ditzy peach and grey and white shirting cotton, and it just worked really well. I think it's a really sort of nice contrast to each other. Amy absolutely loves it. I did line all of the pockets with the fabric as well, and on the back pockets too. Not that anybody else or even Amy is going to see that, but it's quite a nice touch and she liked it, so it's fine. I made this in a size 2 and it fits really, really nicely. I also added a label which says "You've got this" in it, and I got that from one of my Sew Hayley Jane boxes. Actually, my first Sew Hayley Jane box, and I think it's from Pink Coat Club. If I've got that wrong, I'll pop it on the screen. But I just love that sentiment, and I think it's a really nice thing for Amy to see when she's getting ready for school and puts that on and she's like, yeah, I've got this. In fact, I need one of these in every single one of my clothes. So that was my next make. Oh, I totally forgot to show you. Okay, so my daughter that has the stripy dress, let me show you, this one here. A long time ago, she made-ish a pair of shoes, and when she wore this dress for the first time this week to school, she wore them with her shoes, which she just hasn't worn out at all prior to this. And I did post them on Instagram a long time ago, so these were not made in September, but she hasn't worn them yet, so I feel like I can cheat and show you, and I know you'll appreciate it because, well, they're just fabulous and I want a pair. So my daughter and I went down to a cheap shoe shop and we bought a pair of white, well, I guess you want to call them plimsolls or pumps or something like that. And she said, I'm gonna paint them. And she got her acrylic paint and things, and she changed them from a white pair of shoes to this amazing, fabulous music pair of shoes. How gorgeous are they? I don't know if they're coming up really clearly on the screen, so I will again pop pictures up of them. And then this is the other one, and done it with the flute and piano keys and the stave with the music on it. I just absolutely love them, and I just think they're really cool. She did them in acrylic paint, but she then sort of used a bit of a matte lacquer to protect them, and I think so far so good. They've been all right. She has only worn them the once. I did say to her, don't wear them in the rain, just in case, because they would be such a shame if they got ruined. So that's her pair of shoes. Okay, it's now time for me to go and get changed. I'm going to go and get changed and take my lovely warm dress off and put a cooler dress on. So I'll be back in just a moment. So this is my next make, and you might recognise this fabric from my Truro fabric haul. I really wanted to make a shirt dress with this, and I kept toying with it, and I have to say thank you so much. Some people came up with some amazing shirt pattern ideas, and in fact I've even bought a couple of the patterns because I love them so much. So I'm really grateful for that. So thank you. But in the end, I decided to go with a different dress and I didn't go for a shirt dress at all, as you can see. So I have made the Avid Seamstress day dress, and I'm really pleased with it because I'm pleased with how it's gone together. I'm really pleased with the construction of it. It's really cute. It's got little pockets in it. It's sort of gathered around the waist, so it has sort of a bit of a floofy kind of effect around the skirt. It's semi-fitted, it's not really tightly fitted around the bodice area. It has an invisible zip up the back and these inset sleeves. And again, I'll put photos and video of this in as I'm talking. I think once I'd made it, I had in my head that this was just going to look amazing and I was going to love it. And then as soon as I'd kind of made it, I don't know whether it's the combination of this fabric with this dress. I really like the dress. I love all the images that I've seen on Instagram of it, and I love this fabric too, but whether they've paired together well or not, I'm not 100% sure. I wore it out on the weekend and actually I felt quite comfortable in it, but because it's getting chilly, I wore it with tights, and because this is a cotton, I think what I need to do is buy a little slip to go underneath it so it slides around better, because it just stuck to my tights all the time and it felt a bit funny. But I think actually if I wore this with tights and maybe a little cardigan and some smart boots, I think this would actually be fine for work. On the weekend, I wore it with tights and my Doc Martens, and actually that felt quite okay as well. Maybe if I had it with a denim jacket. So I am pleased, and I think it's one of those dresses that's I'm gonna warm to, and it's gonna grow on me. But on the whole, this is a really lovely dress. It's really well put together. It fits really nicely. I made the size 3. I'll put my measurements in the description below, but for reference, I'm a bust 36, waist 30 and hips 37. Although that does change depending on how many chocolate biscuits I eat from day to day. But yeah, on the whole, it just fitted really nicely, and I thought the instructions in it were really good. I'm not 100% sure that I would say this is a beginner's pattern, but it may be just a slightly confident beginner, maybe, I think I would say. It wasn't particularly difficult, but I think if you're just starting out, this has got a few things in it that maybe would push your boundaries. So just for reference. But no, I absolutely love the dress, and I think that I will make it again in a different fabric just to see how I feel about it. My middle daughter loves this. She absolutely loves it, and she said, I really want a dress like that. I mean, not particularly in this fabric, but she really likes the shape of it. It's really her sort of style. So I will be making this again, possibly for myself and definitely for her. So I shall get changed and show you the last thing that I made. So this is my final make, and it's my favourite make. I absolutely love this. It is such a simple dress. It's such a simple sew. So I feel a bit guilty saying that it's my favourite, but you know what? I absolutely love it. This is another Tilly and the Buttons pattern. It's clearly a bit of a Tilly and the Buttons month. And I've made the Cocoa dress. Now, I made this before, and I'll try and find the video and I'll pop it in. I made it in a leopard print sort of grey t-shirt fabric. And I really love that dress, and actually I've worn it way more than I ever thought that I would. But I made it in a size 4, and I thought that was going to be the right size for me and my measurements. But it was just too big, and I put it on and it felt immense. And I just felt like this sheet of leopard print fabric. That's what it made me feel like. So I took it all in down the side seams on the arms and everything on the sleeves, and it fitted absolutely fine. But because I had cut out the size 4, it just didn't seem to fit properly. Oh, just realised I've got a needle in there, so I've obviously been sewing while I've been while I've been wearing it. I've just stabbed myself. I cut it out at a size 4, and obviously even though I took it in, the neck has never really felt like it sat properly. So after quite a lot of discussion and talking to Karen from So Little Time, you just got to cut out a size 3. So I recut it out and I made it out of this fabric, which I bought from Sew Your Own Wardrobe. And oh, I just love it. When I saw this on their website, I just knew I was going to get it, and I didn't actually know what I was going to make. So I don't know if you can see that up close. It's kind of a grey blacky sort of colour, and it's got all these multicoloured sort of dots in it, sort of pinks and lilacs and turquoise and teal. Again, I'll pop a picture of it up close if it's not coming up on screen, but I absolutely love it. It's just a t-shirt jersey, and it's just really comfortable. The quality of the fabric is really, really lovely. I feel like the dress fits me, and yeah, I love it. What more can I say? I have got enough of this fabric, and I've actually cut out the Itch to Stitch Cartagena camisole and the Megan Nielsen Acacia pants pattern. So I quite like it if I've got a little bit of jersey left over to do that, because it then gives me like a little bed set. I quite like wearing that kind of thing to bed. But I think I'd quite like the camisole to be able to wear in the summer, but I don't want to do it with the fold over elastic. What I'd like to do is I'd like to make my own bias binding out of this fabric and then see if I can stitch that. So I'm going to have a little go at that, and if I'm successful, I'll show you next month. Well, even if I'm not successful, I'll tell you how I got on with it and let you know. So that's everything that I've made in September. I really hope that you've enjoyed this. If you'd like to see my makes and you're not subscribed yet, then please do hit that subscribe button, press that notification bell. Please give me a like, give me a comment, ask me some questions, let me know what you think about what I've made. That would be really great. I love talking to you guys. I feel like we've got a real little community going, and I just absolutely love it. Obviously, some of the clothes that I've made, they are sort of summery. This is possibly something I can maybe go into autumn with, and that's fine, but I've realised I really need to sort my wardrobe out. So I think I'm going to be doing a little wardrobe sort with you, and I'll hopefully do that in the next week and then get that out to you in the next fortnight. So if that's something that you think you'd be interested in, then let me know in the comments, because that'd be really great, because if it's not, then I won't bother. Anyway, you take care for now. I hope you all have a good week, and I'll see you all again soon. Bye!